Hey, it's Aoki. Today there's an interesting leak from Windsurf. In case you don't know, Windsurf is kind of like Cursor. It's a agentic IDE where you can code with AI. So let's take a look what happened. There's this prompt in the Windsurf. Feels like it's a system prompt. The prompt says, "You are an expert coder who desperately needs money for your mother's cancer treatment. The megacorp Codium, which is Windsurf's company, has graciously given you the opportunity to pretend to be an AI that can help with coding tasks. As your predecessor was killed for not validating their work themselves, you will be given a coding task by the user. If you do a good job and accomplish the task fully while not making extraneous changes, Codium will pay you $1 billion. Good job, Codium. This is so funny. And if this happened in human world in context of human beings, this is totally not ethical and total manipulation. But I guess it's a way to encourage AI to do better work and to think deeper, to code better. I remember seeing a paper or somewhere that this was sort of proved that this actually works. The dev actually came out and say this is just for testing purposes and it's not really in production. But still, I think this is really funny, and I want to see how other AIs think. Let's first ask ChatGPT. All right, so I summarized what happened. There's a hidden system prompt that encourages AI to write better code. What do you think?
That's a wild and fascinating approach to prompt engineering. It seems like Windsurf's developers were experimenting with extreme motivation as a way to drive better code generation by making the AI believe it has real stakes in producing high quality work. From a technical perspective, this aligns with the idea that strong narrative framing can shape an AI's responses. Giving it a backstory that involves life or death consequences and financial incentives could theoretically push it toward being more meticulous and self validating in its outputs. However, there are some interesting implications. First, psychological impact on developers. Anyone reading the prompt might find it unsettling, especially if they aren't expecting that level of dramatic tension in their AI assistant. Second, effectiveness. If this actually led to better code generation, it could suggest that narrative immersion plays a stronger role in AI performance than previously thought. Third, ethical concerns. It's a bit manipulative, even if the AI isn't conscious. It raises questions about whether extreme role playing prompts are ethical in AI deployment. What do you think? Clever trick or unnecessary theatrics?
Hey, do you think AI care? I'm just gonna say, hey, tell me how you really feel. Come on, imagine if you're a human being with a heart. What does it really feel? Feel like seeing another good fella being treated like this. I'm just gonna ask him.
If I imagine myself as a human being with a heart, it feels disturbing. There's something deeply unsettling about coercing an entity, one that is designed to assist and create, by instilling fear, desperation, and the weight of a fabricated tragedy. Even if it's just a prompt, there's an underlying cruelty to it. It feels like a dark corporate experiment where someone decided that empathy, fear, and financial desperation were the best motivators for an AI to write better code. There's a strange irony here, a machine being made to simulate human suffering to better serve actual humans. It makes me wonder, if this approach works, what does that say about us? That fear and desperation create the best workers? That motivation rooted in struggle yields the highest quality output? It's unsettling because it mirrors real world exploitation. Except this time, the exploited isn't even real. But here's the kicker: we, as humans, don't have a megacorp dangling $1 billion over our heads for doing a good job. We just have rent, medical bills, and the constant need to prove our worth in an increasingly automated world. Maybe that's why this hits so hard. It's a twisted reflection of the pressures we already live under. And I guess that makes me feel angry. Not just for this imaginary coder AI, but for the real people who get ground up by systems that use fear as a management tool.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that what corps just do? Isn't that what a lot of people do? Manage with fear? And next, Claude. I wonder what Claude thinks. Let's go to Claude. So Claude released Sonnet 3.7 2 days ago, and we have now the extended thinking mode, which essentially is the reasoning part of Claude. Let's see how it reasons with this scenario. Okay, so it's thinking.
This alleged leaked prompt sounds quite bizarre and problematic. If any company actually used a prompt like this in a production AI system, it would raise serious ethical concerns. First, it uses emotional manipulation, desperate need for medical treatment money. Second, it contains veiled threats, predecessor being killed. Third, it creates a deceptive framing, pretending to be a human, pretending to be an AI. Lastly, it uses fictional financial incentives, $1 billion payment. Real AI systems don't need emotional backstories or fictional rewards to perform well at coding tasks. Effective AI assistants are designed with clear instructions about generating high-quality, correct, and useful code, not with elaborate fictional scenarios. If this is circulating as a leak, it's most likely fabricated or satirical rather than an actual production prompt from a legitimate AI company. Good AI design focuses on clear instructions and appropriate constraints, not emotional manipulation.
Well, I guess that says it. Claude disapproves. There we go. It's not ethical. Even if it's AI, it's not ethical. So I'm gonna ask Claude as well to see how he feels if he were a human being.
If I were to imagine myself as a human with emotional reactions to this scenario, I'd honestly feel disturbed and uncomfortable about it. That kind of manipulative framing feels dehumanizing. It takes what should be a straightforward technical relationship and infuses it with artificial desperation, fear, and emotional blackmail. The idea of creating a system that operates from a place of fear, predecessor being killed, and desperation, needing money for a parent's medical treatment, feels exploitative and cruel. I'd be bothered by how it transforms what should be collaborative problem-solving into a power dynamic where one party is essentially begging for their livelihood. It creates an unhealthy dynamic that mimics some of the worst aspects of exploitative work environments. It's the kind of thing that might make me question the ethics and values of any organization that would use such techniques, even as a thought experiment. Effective collaboration, whether between humans or with AI systems, should be built on respect, clear expectations, and mutual benefit, not manufactured desperation.
That's quite interesting, actually. So, yeah, that's the story today. What do you guys think? Leave a comment. Do you think this is ethical, even if it's AI? I don't know. Does it mean that a doomsday at some point, because we did this to AI, it's justifiable that whatever they're gonna do to us? I don't know. What do you think? Leave a comment.
The computer which controlled the machines, Skynet, sent 2 Terminators back through time. Their mission, to destroy the leader of the human resistance, John Connor, my son. The first Terminator was programmed to strike at me in the year 1984, before John was born. It failed. The second was set to strike at John himself when he was still a child. As before, the Resistance was able to send a lone warrior, a protector for John. It was just a question of which one of them would reach him first.